Hello children, I welcome all of you in the online session of computer science. Today I am going to tell you and teach you about the computer system. This is your first chapter of your syllabus. As you all know that you have to read computers application code 165 in your study. In your course syllabus, the first chapter is computer system and all about the computers. So today we will read about and study about computers, component of computers, computer memory, liveware, hardware and software, types of software, firmware, and at the last we will learn about the strength and weaknesses of the computer. So I know you all know about very well about computer system, but I have to tell you a proper definition, and this needs to be recall and remind you the topic you have already learned. So a computer is an electronic device. You already learned that a computer is an electronic device that can perform a variety of operation, multiple tasks by your instructions, and these instructions are given to you given to the computer in the form of programs. Instructions are always needed to accomplish any task. Likewise, if you are going to purchase anything from the market, you need instructions. You need instructions for the things you are going to buy, from where you are going to buy, and the quantity and the amount. So these all the things compiled together, it forms a program, and each and every line separately called as instruction. Same as with the computer also, we are giving some instructions to the computer. If we compile the whole instructions in a set, the set of all the instructions are known as program. So computer always works on the program, data and instructions given by the user. Or you can say simply, you can learn that a computer, or you can understand that a computer is a machine, which is an artificial machine, which is always work on the data and inputs given by the computer user. So I just pronounced a name that is a data. So you must I think feeling okay, what is a data? So I am telling you what is the data, as it is also on your screen. You can view that the data are the raw facts and figure. Means all the raw facts and figure exist in this world are known as data, and this is data for you, for the computer, for any purpose you can use this data. The data processing system transforms data into a useful information. So when our data is become useful to us, when the data is transformed into information, it becomes useful to us. Related to the data, if any data it is there which is not relevant to you, it is not the information. So data can be anything, and information can be a meaningful data. So every meaningful data is an information to you. There is a slight difference between the data and information. So you must learn and understand properly what is data and what is information. So any data in this world, or you can say any fact in this world, is known as data. But what the data is meaningful, what is the processed data, is known as the information. It's just a changed form of data. So information is none other than a changed data, a meaningful data, a processed data. Data is aggregated and summarized in various meaning in way to form information. Means data can be put in any order, in any sequence, in any manner to get our data. A small diagram is showing on your screen. The data is going to process, and after processing we will get the information. So I think you all are understood, and it is very clear to you what is data, what is information, and how information we can fetch from the data. Why it is necessary to tell you is, it is just because because the data and information, many of us are very, you can say, confused about data and information. So it is better to understand first what is data and what is information, because the whole computer programming, whole computer theory is based on data and information. We have to give data to the computer. Data is processed by the computer and we will get the information. Suppose you are having a data of your whole school. Okay, so what will you do? You will summarize the data in an, you can say, in an Excel table and an Word, and process it means to set it according to your need, and then you will return to that data to your teachers, to your elders, to your other friends if they are demanding. So the raw data you are collecting, and then it is processed, and then you will return the information. Okay, now we are very much clear about the data, information and computers. So we will learn next about the component of computers. Okay, the components of computers are input, output and processing unit. Okay, the input unit and the output unit, and the in between of input unit and output unit there is a processing unit known as central processing unit. Okay, the input unit or the input is just you can say machine, or we can use any of the equipment which is used for giving input to the computer is known as input unit. So all the hardware, software which is used to give input to the computer is known as input unit. What does it do? It takes the input and convert it to the binary form so that it can be understood by the computer. As you already know that computer only understood machine language or binary code, so it is always important to convert the data given by you, whether in any form. It may be in English, Hindi, numerals and any other thing. So you have to convert that particular data into 0 and 1 form so it can be understood by the computer, and then after it can be processed. Okay, next component is the central processing unit or the processing unit of your computer. It is the main command center of your computer. It is the controlling center of the computer. It guides, it directs, it governs the computer what it had to do. It is known as the brain of computer. As we are having brain, so computer is also having a brain known as CPU, central processing unit. And you all also aware that CPU is not the box attached to the monitor. It is a CPU cabinet. The CPU is the processor. CPU is the processor which is attached to the motherboard of the computer system. So the microprocessor attached to your motherboard is known as the CPU. It is also known as the brain of the computer. It is the one of the most important device of your computer. Without having a CPU, no computer system will run. So a computer system has basically 3 components. Mainly 2 components are there. I am attaching one more, that is the MU. I'll tell you about the MU after explaining the ALU and CU. So first ALU and CU. So ALU is the arithmetic and logical unit. It performs all the logical and arithmetical operations of the computer. So ALU is an important unit. Next is the CU or the command center. Control unit controls all the work performed by the ALU and CPU of the CPU. And next is the MU. So what is this MU? MU is the memory unit. Basically, if we are talking about the computer's memory or CPU memory, we are mainly concerning about the primary memory, and other storage devices we will discuss in our next chapter, that is storage, computer storage. So here I am telling you what is memory unit. My memory units is none other than primary memory, which consists of RAM and ROM used by the computer brain, that is known as CPU. So the third component is the output unit. So what does it do? Output unit doesn't you can take input from the system. It processes the data which is you can say which is taken from the CPU, and then these electronic signals or binary code are represented to the user so that they can understand the real output. So output is again in the form of human readable language. So output unit works is to take the process data from the CPU and convert it to the human readable language and present it to the user. So a block diagram shows you about the working of the particular computer. You can say CPU, computer's brain CPU. It has ALU, CU. Input unit gives the input. The input units give the input to the ALU, and CU then performs some operation. Maybe it needed some memory here, and a secondary storage is also available. So if they want to store, then they can store memory in the main memory or secondary storage and then produce the processed data as an output to the user. So it is a block diagram which is basically tells you about the working of the CPU, or you can say working of the computer. So you are very clear about the computers and CPU. So let's learn about the third component, that it is memory unit or computer's memory. The computer's memory is often known as main memory or primary memory. We are not considering secondary memory as a computer memory, how it is a storage device, but the main memory is also known as primary memory, is also known as computer memory. It is the third component of CPU. As I told you, it is the third component of the CPU. We are basically we are considering RAM and ROM in the third component of the you can say memory, or memory unit contains the primary memory contains RAM and ROM. RAM, as you all know, random access memory, and ROM is read only memory. So a small idea came into your mind that what is RAM and what is ROM. You must read about the RAM and ROM in your earlier classes, in your I think in class 3rd or 4th. It is very clear, but I recall you the same. A RAM is a temporary memory. All the working we are doing on the computer is always executed on the RAM, whereas the ROM is a permanent memory. It is equipped with software that is known as firmware, which I tell you sometime after what is firmware. So firmware always installed on the ROM. So ROM is a permanent memory, or you can say it is non-volatile, and RAM is volatile. Means whenever we switch off the computers or there is no electricity, the data on the RAM will vanish, but ROM will not erase its data under these circumstances. However, we can delete the data of the ROM also, but ROM cannot delete data automatically as RAM. So what is memory cell? We are very much aware about the memory, RAM, ROM and so on. So what is memory cell? Memory cell may be defined as a device which store a symbol selected from a set of symbols. Just a cell which you can say store some components, some storage or symbol, that is known as memory cell. Now the units of memory, it is important to you. The smallest unit of computer memory is bit, means binary digit. It is a single digit which can store 0 or 1, means binary digit. A group of 8 bits called a byte, and the group of 4 bits is called a nibble. A computer storage unit chart is given just after that. You can understood that the bit can be of 0 and 1. Okay, you can say that 8 bits equal to 1 byte, and kilobyte means 1 KB always equal to 1024 bytes. 1 MB or megabyte is equal to 1024 kilobyte. 1 GB or gigabyte is equal to 1024 megabyte. 1 TB or terabyte equal to 1024 gigabyte. So these are the storage units. You are also aware of the same. It is no matter you are learning that or not, it is just a reference purposes. You can have more info in the storage chapter. So let's move further. Now what is liveware? You must listen this term anywhere before. What is liveware? Liveware. So it is a term basically used for the people associated with and benefited for the computer system. Is if you are using computers, you are getting benefits from the computer, then you are the liveware. It is a slang term used to denote the people which are using computers based on the need of human or liveware to operate the system using hardware and software. So it is just a slang term or technical term given to the persons or the users of the computers. Okay. Now come to the next topic, and next topic is the hardware. As you all know that computer is having two types of components, that is hardware and software. So all the physical components of the computer system is known as hardware. It means which we can touch and see, that is known as hardware. But listen, hardware can be inside the CPU box. Okay, if motherboard is attached to the CPU box, you cannot touch it, but it is a hardware. You can open the box and can touch it. So don't distract with the things that you cannot touch. It means if it is wrapped inside a wrapper, then you cannot touch it. So it is a hardware. So there will be no choice of saying that if it is a hardware, so it is a physical component. Okay, it can be see and touch. If we are talking about the hardware, we must listen the same term peripherals somewhere sometimes. So peripherals are the devices, all the devices you can say which are attached to the system unit is known as the peripheral devices. So keyboard, mouse, speaker, printer, monitors are always or the peripherals of the computer system. As I have shown you a computer, an old computer, or you can say a block diagram of the computer, but just for your reference purposes, you all know and aware about all the things, and so it is the hardware of the computer system. Let's move towards the software, which is an important topic. So what is a software? Software represent the set of programs. In the starting of the chapter, I have told you about the programs. So a program is a set of instructions. As I told you, a program is a set of instructions. So if we are collecting a set of programs to perform a particular task or any operation, then it is known as software. So software is the set of programs. Software is a set of program is a set of instructions, and finally the set of instruction compiled into a program and a set of programs compiled into the software. So software governs the computer system and make the hardware run. Without software, hardware cannot run. So we need software and hardware both for running a computer system. Computer system without hardware and software we can say that it is unable to operate a computer system only with hardware or only with software. So it can be broadly classified into two categories: system software and application software. System software are those software which is basically required any system to run. These are basically 3 or 4 types: operating system, language processor, device drivers, and utility program, whereas the next category is our application software. These are installed above the system software. So the application can be of 2 types: customized application software and general purpose application software. So we will study some knowledge, you can say some part about the software here, and the rest we will study it more in the next chapters. So what is system software? System software is responsible for controlling, integrating, managing the individual hardware component of computer system so that the other software and the user of system see it as a functional unit without having to concern with the low level details such as transferring data to memory to disk or rendering text onto display. So in a layman language, without system software we cannot use a computer system. So it is an essential software which needs to be first installed on the computer system. It has all the workings of like transferring data from your pen drive to the hard disk or hard disk to the pen drive, from the RAM to the hard disk, and displaying the movie, displaying the things, text and so on. It has all the functional equipments like the same. So system software is equipped with the responsibilities of controlling the hardware. Generally, system software consists of operating system and fundamental utilities like disk, formatters, file managers, etc. So the main and the important system software is operating system. So operating system is just a program which acts as an interface between a user and the hardware, like all the software and hardware resources of the computer system. So it is a mediator. Operating system is a mediator between the hardware and the with the computer user. So we are using operating system for just, you can say, a mediator, a controller of the hardware, which represent hardware to us, which converts the hardware signals, hardware instructions to us as we can read and we can act upon, and it is also responsible for converting the user's instructions to the hardware. So what is the next? The next type of software, system software, is a device driver. A device driver is a computer program that operates and control a particular device of hardware device which is attached to the computer system. Each and every device attached to your computer system, hardware device attached to your computer system, having its own set of device drivers. Like we are having drivers for the car also. So any hardware device which is attached to your computer system having the device drivers to be run smoothly and correctly. Next is the language processor. Language processor are none other than just a converting medium which is going to convert the language between user and the computer. It converts the machine level language, binary language into machine level, assembly into high level language. Assembler, interpreter, compilers are the popular example of language processor. Next type of system software is utility software. What is utility software? Utility software are designed to help the user to analyze, to configure, to optimize or to maintain a computer. It is just for helping the user to run properly the system. If we are not having the utility software, we cannot able to run a system properly. We have to install another utility software. So utility softwares are provided just to help the computer system to run the computer system smoothly and properly. It is used to support the computer infrastructure in contrast to application software which is aimed at the directly performing tasks that benefit ordinary users. It is directly benefited to the computer user. Disk management software, encryption, decryption software, antivirus software, you can use the disk defragmenter, you can use disk management, you can use antivirus, you can use encryption, decryption, WinZip, WinRAR, etc. are the famous examples of utility software. Next, we are we have learned about the system software. So next is your application software. Application software are a set of programs which is you can say used for the specified purposes. Likewise, if we are using Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, we are using Microsoft Office packages. So this Office packages is known as an application software. It is just an example of application software. Application softwares are basically of two types. First is customized. As I already told you, customized application software. It is just a tailor-made software. Software developers are design the software as per the need of the user. So it may be changed to user. The look, feel and the working may be changed from a user to another user. It is developed directly to the requirement of the specified customer, and the customer will be the user of this software. So customized application software are designed on the order of the consumer. So this maybe this application may not be available for the general purpose or general public. So this is a tailor-made personalized software, also known as personalized software. The next topic or the next type of application software is general application software, or we are also known as, it is also known as general purpose application software. This type of software is always you can say the general requirement, meet the general requirement of the public. It is also used by the general public. So all the you can say users may use the same version of this, like MS Office. So what is the just an example of customized software is, you can say, payroll management, a student management system, hotel management system, and the general application software may be like word processing system, Microsoft Office, word processing system, portable document reader, and so on. VLC is also an example of application software which is used to run the multimedia files on the computer system. These are the general purpose or the general application software which is not changed user to user. It is just for a set of users or all the users using the same software in the same way. So this is the general application software and customized. So you are very much, I think, clear about the general application software and customized software. So you can use the general application software for the general purpose, and for your specific purpose you can use the customized software, also known as customized software or specific purpose software. So next, move to the firmware. As I told you, I will tell you about the firmware in the first session. In the just starting session, I tell you about the firmware. So what is the firmware? Firmware always you can say firmware are just a term which is used to depict about the software. It is a software which is pre-written on the ROM. ROM is a primary memory, and this software is pre-written on the ROM, known as firmware. Basically, the software which is directly installed on the chip is known as firmware. As we are having a small smart watch, or you can say a digital watch, which cost around, I think, not more than 30-35 rupees. So this is basically a firmware is also installed on the same system. So firmware is a pre-written program which is used to just taking the input from the particular hardware. So I am telling you an example. The example of firmware is BIOS, basic input output services, which is installed on the ROM, which basically do the setting of your basic input output services attached to your computer system, which is used for setting some settings, or also done by the using the BIOS. So BIOS is a type of firmware. So now move to the, I think, second last topic of our session, that is a strength of computer. So first, the strength of computers are unlimited. Computer is a very powerful machine, as you all know that, However, I am completing this topic in 4 or 5 points. Basically, the strength of computers are unlimited. We cannot count on our fingers. Yet, the major strength of computers are first is speed. The speed of computer is always more than a human being. Computer is more faster. It performs a variety of tasks. It can perform a task in just a second, which is rather impossible for a person to do. Suppose we want to multiply crores or a long digit numbers by another long digit number. A computer can do it in a fraction of second, which is impossible for a human being. So it can be say that, or it is very much feasible to say that the speed of computer is a strength of computer. Next is high storage capacity. Computer can store a large amount of data in it. We are also know that computer can save a large amount of data in TBs, GBs also, which is I think rarely possible with a human being. So computer's storage capacity is also a strength of computer. Next is the accuracy. Computer is very accurate machine. I think if you are providing the input which is free from error, so you will get the output which is also free from error. So it is an accurate machine. Likewise, as same as we are doing with the calculators, if we are doing the giving the inputs in a proper way, so we are getting the output is in proper way. So if computer will do any type of mistake in any computation, you must check on your inputs. Maybe your input is error is consisting some errors. That is why computers made mistakes. So it is really impossible that computer is making any mistake. Computer is always accurate and up to the point. Next is the reliability. Having the speed, high storage capacity and accuracy, it is also a reliable machine. You can rely on the computer. It will not tire, it will not feeling bored, and it is more reliable than a computer being until unless you are not being hacked. So it is in some circumstances the reliability of computers will be in a you can say you can question on that, but however in the normal situation it is very reliable machine. Next is versatility. You can perform various tasks and same repetitive jobs with the computers, and computer will not feeling bored. If you are if I am giving you a same process or a same task again, you may feel bored. You may feel bored by doing it again and again, but computer will not feeling any boring and any you can say any this type of hazardous situation will not arise with the computer. It is a versatile. We can do multiple jobs and the same jobs again and again without any question. They can even work in areas where human brain can not survive or cannot move. They can use their possibilities of working. They can work. It can also work with different types of data that we cannot able to do that, like graphics, audio, visual and characters. However, you can have an idea about the strength of computers. You are also aware these strengths, but there may be some weaknesses also. Computer is always not the up to the mark. There are two major weaknesses of computer. What are those? Those are first, lack of decision making power. However, in the modern development, we are giving computers to learn and taking action on that using the artificial intelligence. However, it is under control of the human being. So this is always the weakness of a computer, that a lack of decision making power. Computer cannot take decision on its own. It only acts and reacts on the data and the processes which is fed into it. It cannot decide by its own. So the next is the zero IQ. The zero IQ is again the synonym of the decision making power. So it is a dumb machine. It can have the artificial intelligence but not the new nature, or you can say by birth intelligence. It can be teach but not grasp. So we have to tell the computer and any computer machine again what it has to do. And the second and the most is it always on the power. Means if there is no electricity, computer will not run. So computer run on the electricity and power. So the power dependency is a major weaknesses of the computer system. These limitations of the computer systems are also of the some human being. So we can work with the computer and us, and in collaboration we can make a perfect pair. That is why today and now the ages we are developing so much. We are doing a development with the help of computers. In the collaborating with the computing machine, we are moving further and in the different aspect of life. Without having the computer and computing devices, we cannot work as such pace. So it is a weakness. These are the strength of computer systems. So this is all for today. Thank you. Have a nice day. You must learn and revise the same topics again and again. And next you will get next part. It is in the next part. All the left out topics will be covered in the next part. Thank you and have a nice day.